What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? This your man Dre Mac coming to you again with another episode of the Dre Mac Show. Of course, again, I'm your host, Dre Mac. If this is the first time you watching one of my videos, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you're missing this on a replay, only thing I want you to do is just give a brother a thumbs up, or if you don't agree with me at all, thumbs it down. Tell me what you think about it in the comment section. But today, I'm going to be talking about Jonathan Majors. His trial starts today. So we're going to get into everything about the trial and what's going on. Now, I have been covering this, and I feel like today should be the day that they actually drop the charges, everything. You know what I mean? But we'll see what happens. And normally, if you're catching this, you're catching a premiere. This is not a live show, but make sure on the premiere that you comment in the actual chat, engage. You never know, I might be in there or not. But whatever information comes from this, I'll make sure that I'll report it and let you know what's going on. Hopefully, like I said, this thing just ends today. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Hopefully, you guys are happy. Hopefully, you guys are healthy. You're catching this at the 11 o'clock stream or premiere. So, 12 o'clock Eastern time. So hopefully you guys are checking me out. Make sure you comment, all of that stuff. You already know how we do it around here. All my OGs know. The real question is, started, what we know so far about the Jonathan Majors trial and what I'm expecting based on the information that is out there. So let me share my screen real quick. And then again, shout out to everybody who's in the chat. Of course, again, this is a premiere stream. Check the community page if you want to know why you might not see this as a live stream. This is a premiere, but go ahead and check the community page if you got any questions or anything. So let's get this thing started. Now, let me make this maybe you guys can see that. So Jonathan Majors is expected to be in court today, facing misdemeanor charges of assault and harassment. If convicted, the actor could face up to a year in jail. And me, Blues House Live, Chillmonger, SSJK Dot, Be Real with D Real, so on and so forth. A lot of us YouTubers have been following this trial and have been talking about it. So if you want to know any other information, go ahead and check some of my previous videos about this, about Jonathan Majors and what he's been going through, especially with this whole trial thing or this whole domestic violence thing. And for what we know is that the young lady who is a part of this case, who is the alleged victim, also had probable cause for her to be charged as well. Now, we haven't heard anything since that information dropped. We had that bombshell that dropped. And then, you had other news outlets and stuff like that, like the Rolling Stones, basically making a hit piece and stuff like that. So this is kind of where we at right now. So let me go ahead and continue to read, and then I'm gonna give you kind of what I'm thinking this thing is going to come across. So about a year ago, Majors was considered to be one of Hollywood's most promising rising stars. The 33-year-old actor, educated at Yale School of Drama, was winning over audiences in prestigious TV shows and movies. He was a hero on HBO's Lovecraft Country and the antagonist in Creed 3, the blockbuster Rocky film. And Majors was set to break through as a mainstream celebrity after being cast as a major supervillain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He became the subject of numerous adoring profiles, including on NPR, where he was described as the internet's boyfriend. But everything changed on March 25th last year when Majors was arrested in New York after allegedly assaulting a woman in what police called a domestic dispute. She accused him of pulling her fingers, twisting her arm, hitting her, pushing her to a vehicle so violently she fell on the pavement. According to police, the girlfriend was treated at the hospital for minor injuries. She has not been named in court records. And again, if you have been following this, we have already, gave the alleged woman's name. Her name has been out there publicly. In the words of my man Chillmonger, she is Stephanie McMahon Hemsley. You know, and a lot of this has already been proven false. They have Sandra Padre, I believe is his lawyer's name, has came out with information that has proven that all of this stuff is wrong, is false. There's no information um, that actually concludes that he did any of this. They have witnesses from you have witnesses from the driver. He used a driving service, was an all black driving service. The driver witnessed none of this happening. They even had him get out the car because she was actually abusing him. That was actually caught on camera, on a street cam, of her pulling him back into the vehicle, and then her going to go kick it after they parted ways with no significant injuries, no anything. When that happened, what we then seen was the girl go kick it, no injuries, use $7,000, of this man's credit card to go have a good time that night, and then him and the maintenance guy, which I would call Bookman for this particular episode, Bookman, the maintenance man, they found him. I mean, found the young lady unconscious in the closet. Jonathan Majors makes a phone call. The NYPD comes up. They didn't know who he was. Proceeded to coerce, excuse me, the young woman, and said that he was choking her, making these type of, did he do this? You know what I mean? Basically leading the victim on, and she said 19 times she didn't know what happened. And then, they end up arresting Jonathan Majors, which he was released on bond later that day. So this is information that is already out there. This is not information that I put out there. This is information that's already known to the actual public. So let's get back to it. Majors pleaded not guilty to charges of misdemeanor assault, aggravated harassment, attempted assault, and harassment. Another charge of strangulation was later dropped. His lawyer, Pyra Chandri, I said her name wrong, excuse me, has maintained her client's innocence and suggested to NPR that, in fact, that the accuser is the guilty party. Soon after charges were filed, Majors was reportedly dropped by both his management and public relations firms. Since then, the actor's reputation has been damaged by ongoing bad press about his off-screen behavior, both in his private life and on set. And this is something that me and others have talked about. Blue and Chill have talked about on this, because you could be dropped by your management and public relations firm, because your public relations is supposed to try to uphold your image even in the midst of this allegation. And they could have just parted ways, but what it made it seem like is that the public relation firm and the management team was like, nah, we can't do this anymore, we're out, without any. And it sounds kind of strange that they will be out without learning all the facts first, getting all the information before making a decision. So it could have been a mutual separation, but the way a lot of publications is making it seem like he just got dropped. You know what I mean? So that is also something that we talked largely about, is about the way that this is being covered. To make Jonathan Majors just looks like the big black guy who's angry, who's who can't control himself, who can't control his anger, yada yada yada. Even have people from his old schools like, yeah, he was kind of a dick. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing illegal about being a dick. You know what I'm saying? An asshole or whatever you want to call it. There's nothing illegal about that. But to paint a narrative, this is something that the prosecutor have been trying to get out. So keep that in mind while we're working up to where we're at right now. In June, Majors appeared in a Manhattan courtroom for a hearing. His lawyer stated that he had compelling evidence that would help prove Majors was wronged, but Judge Rachel Pauley issued a sealed decision that resulted in Chandri withdrawing court papers challenging the accuser's accusations. Detail of that decision remains under wraps. The judge wished the actor the best of luck while scheduling this trial. So let me reread that because I think I just ran right through that. Matter of fact, I'm a full screen this so you guys can be able to. Let's reread this. So let me full screen this real quick. It says in June. So let's go up just a little bit. So it said in June, Majors appeared in the Manhattan courtroom for a hearing. His lawyer stated that she had compelling evidence. So she has evidence, right? That would prove that help prove Majors was wronged, right? Compelling, overwhelming evidence, right? But Judge Rachel Pauley issued a sealed decision. Sealed. I mean, the public cannot see this. That resulted in Chandri withdrawing court papers challenging the accuser's accusations. So she had strong evidence. The judge said, nah, we ain't doing that. Basically, in so many words. Matter of fact, we're going to seal it. We ain't going to do that. We're going to, I hope you the best of luck, but we're not going to, I don't even want to see this compelling, overwhelming evidence that you got. So we're just going to go ahead and conceal this. You know what I mean? You might have evidence, but we don't care right now. Details of that decision remains under wraps. I bet. The judge wished the actor best of luck while scheduling this trial. So you're going to keep all the information that I have to be able to prove my innocence. You're going to keep that under wraps. But then say, hey, good luck to you. Doesn't that sound fishy to you guys? Make sure you put in the comment section if that sounds a little fishy. All right, let's keep going. The incident has shredded Major's prospects in Hollywood. He was removed from the U.S. Army marketing campaign soon after it became public, and Marvel has downplayed Major's involvement in numerous upcoming projects, which they have not, because as we have seen, and this was just yesterday from this article, we've already seen that Loki season 2 heavily features Jonathan Majors in the promotion. So that is already out there, and this is NPR, and I trust NPR, but it's a lot of information that has not been said in this article that actually tells you what information the Jonathan Majors lawyer had. So we're going to go there. And this is the only thing about these articles. I want you to understand this, that just because a major trade says it doesn't mean they can't be biased from the actual writing of the information, because there is a lot of information that helps Jonathan Majors' case that's heavily omitted in this NPR article. Heavily omitted. And we're going to go to all the facts for Jonathan Majors. So we're going to get to that in just a moment. But let's continue to read so you'll understand, so you get a full perspective of what's going on. The incident has shredded Majors' prospects in Hollywood. He was removed from a U.S. Army marketing campaign soon after it became public, and Marvel has downplayed Majors' involvement in numerous upcoming projects. His character, Kang the Conqueror, was set up to be the primary villain in what's being called the MCU's multiverse saga, but Majors can barely be glimpsed in trailers for the second season of Marvel Studio television show Loki, which is we're gonna go into all of this. This is a whole lot of BS. It is bullshit. And NPR should be ashamed of themselves for allowing this person to write this article. And I'm going to tell you why. Because a lot of stuff was heavily omitted and making it seem like the Jonathan Majors is just on the outs. And that's not necessarily true. It is, and it has pushed back the release date for the next two Avenger movies, Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, in which Majors was to have been prominently featured. And what they're not saying is that we're in the midst of a strike, writers and actor strikes, and that's the reason why that those projects were pushed back. And this person who wrote this article is Barbara Campbell, and Barbara should be ashamed of herself. She omitted a whole lot of information in this that I'm going to pull up in just a second. So it's easy to draw parallels with the emerging star whose career was derailed earlier this summer. Ezra Miller's lead role in The Flash was suspected to anoint the character as the center of a lucrative DC franchise, but analysis have pointed to their legal issues and off-screen controversies to explain in part why the film, released in June, became one of the biggest box office bombs of all time. That wasn't just the only reason. Bad CGI, horrible character development with the second Barry. There's a lot of things that went wrong with that damn movie, and it had not. It was just a portion of what Ezra Miller did. How about bringing a dead Christopher Reeves from the grave in the worst CGI uncanny valley that you've ever seen in your life that looks like a PS3 render? You know what I mean? They brought Christopher Reeves back to life, but they can't recast T'Challa. Come on now. You know I ain't never going to stop that. But let's get off of that for just a moment. Let's get off of that just a moment. I'm going to remove this from the screen. But you can honestly see in that article, and I'm going to show you why all of this was bullshit that she said. I'm going to tell you why. Because you have seen, if you follow my channel, you have seen the real information. So we're going to go and get to the real information. But before I even get to that, because again, I just did a breakdown of Loki season 2. And guess who was heavily favored in there? Well, we're going to go first to that because I want to show you first, you know what I'm saying? First, what is in there. So let me get to that, because if from what she's saying is that, oh, they basically scrapped him from this. They basically, scrapped him from all of that, scrubbed him from the earth, just based on what she said. And this is the reason why you guys got to do your research. You got to have full understanding of what's going on, because this is the way that a lot of people will trick you. So give me just a second. Hold on. Give me just a second. I'm because what I like to do is pull receipts. That's what I like to do. I like to pull receipts, because if you don't have those CVS receipts, then people could fool you when, however, whenever. So you always got to have your receipts. So I'm not even going to play the entire trailer, because you guys have seen this. If you have followed my channel, you have seen my breakdown. I just want to pull the receipts. If Jonathan Majors' character, Kang the Conqueror, was not heavily involved in Loki season 2, let me add this. Let me just add this to the stream. Let's go here. Let's pull the receipts. All we're doing is pulling CVS receipts, guys. Hold on. Then who is that? Who's this guy? If he is heavily scrubbed from the making of this, who is that? Did they just prune that whole area? Did you can see him? Okay, let's not even go there. Let's keep going, because like I said, I'm not gonna show the whole thing. But remember, he was supposed to be scrubbed. Now, this is the Loki show, right? This is Loki season 2. But remember, he's supposed to be totally scrubbed. Who's that? Who's that guy? If he's totally scrubbed. Again, this is why you can't, you can go and get publication, but if publication is leaning towards guilt and not the entire, I don't, you know what? And I've said this plenty of times. I have no dog in this fight. I have absolutely no dog in this fight. Jonathan Major's not my cousin. We share big nose, big lips. All he is a brother like me. But what I don't want to happen, I don't care if he's black, white, orange, green, Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Independent. I don't give a shit. I don't care where his background is from, right and wrong. That's all I care about. The facts and the evidence. What do you have? What are the facts and the evidence? Hit pieces and all of that. That's what I'm hit piece bustering, because that is what draws. And when you read that, and if you have no prior information, you would have automatically like, damn, this dude is done for. Until we start bringing up CVS receipts. Until we start really looking at the genuine evidence. So let's get off the NPR for just a second. That was fun. Let's watch this. See, they forgot. That person forgot to be able to put this information from Newsweek. From Newsweek. Not only Newsweek, but there's other publications too. But Newsweek was like, hey, guess what? Jonathan Major scores a huge win in his case. And when Newsweek did this, when Rolling Stones made their hit piece. So again, you have to have all the information, y'all. Not just what somebody wants you to know. Think for yourself. Go research this information and go find out the actual factual truth. And this is the reason why I don't want their I don't want that. So let's get to it. And I'm going to full screen this because again, I want to be able to show you guys the truth. Again, when things are scrubbed in certain lights, like when I read that whole entire article from NPR, she omitted a lot of information. So let's get to the information that is heavily omitted in that article. Again, CVS receipts. Actor Giant, and remind you, as of this date, now the court date is as I'm recording, the trial has not started as of this recording, but after the trial is done, or unless they roll it over or whatever, or they they ask for a continuous, we don't know. But I will cover this more in depth once we have other information. But let's go into the CVS receipts. Actor Jonathan Majors has scored a win in allegations that he assaulted his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari. Remember, in the NPR, they said that court documents haven't released the girl's the alleged victim's name. I said we already had her name. My man Chillmonger calls her Stephanie McMahon Hemsley. You know what I mean? So, the Creed 3 star was arrested on March 25th by the New York Police Department after officers were called to an apartment Manhattan Chelsea neighborhood. Now, mind you, what was also omitted is that he called. But they saying Jabari called the police. No, Jonathan Majors called the police because he found her unconscious. That's what happened. I'm going to get to those receipts too. But I just wanted to get to this part. Let me get to, because all of this is receipts. Jabari called the police alleged she has been assaulted by Majors who faced court that same evening, charged with 2 counts of assault in third degree, aggravated harassment and attempted assault against a woman. Representatives for Majors have long maintained his innocence, and his lawyer, Pyra Chaudhry, told Newsweek that the actor was probably the victim here, with police at 2 NYPD precincts finding probable cause to investigate Jabari but did not arrest her. So they have probable cause to arrest her. Chaudhry said that Majors met with the NYPD last week to present them with the evidence of what really happened that night. Within hours of viewing the evidence and conducting their own thorough investigation, the NYPD found probable cause to arrest Grace Jabari, aka Stephanie McMahon Hemsley, for assaulting Jonathan Majors, Chaudhry added. Considering this development, we extend our gratitude to the NYPD detectives for their efforts, Chaudhry said. Majors also appeared in court on May the 8th and June 20th, according to Business Insider report, presenting himself to the Chinatown precinct on June 21st to give a statement to police about what he claimed had occurred on the night of the alleged assault. The actor said a drunken hysterical Jabari attacked him on a street corner in Chinatown on March 25th. He alleged Jabari, a dancer, scratched and slapped his face, causing pain. Both the Chinatown precinct and Manhattan precinct that first attended the incident at the Chelsea apartment following Jabari's 911 call on March 25th found probable cause to investigate, Jabari Major's lawyer said. According to the report, Manhattan prosecutors were reluctant to prosecute Jabari, and an incident card calling for her to present to Chinatown precinct for questioning was canceled. The district attorney and police have not confirmed the accounts by Major's attorney. So it's a lot going on here. It's a lot going on. Newsweek reached out to the NYPD and Jabari for comment. Jabari, who met Jonathan Majors on the set of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, has yet to speak publicly about her incident. Majors is due on the court on August the 3rd based on Jabari's allegations. Now, I'm going to drop that because, again, CVS receipts. Because, again, there's always CVS receipts. That was the Newsweek article. So, give me just a second. Let me see if I can. Let's go and find. I think it was from the Insider. Yes, that's what it's from. So let's go to the Insider story. Now, this has all of the tea. All of it. So let's go. Let's go here. And this is the Insider report. Same thing I just said. This is literally same thing I just said. Now, this is information, this sworn affidavit obtained by Insider. So let me get to let's see. Now they're saying, but see, this is what because the Insider has all the information, because Piper Chaudhry gave the information to the Insider, so they've seen the evidence and everything. And again, he said, but Manhattan prosecutors who are pursuing the case against Majors were for some reason reluctant to turn the tables on Jabari, and at the district attorney's offices, urging the iCard was deactivated. So what it sounds like is that they was like, even though you got probable cause, they still didn't want to, the police department still didn't want to do anything, even though they had information. And listen to this. The DA's office has repeatedly pushed back against investigating or charging Jabari despite supporting evidence that includes surveillance camera footage of the street dispute and photos of Major's injury. Chaudhry told Insider for last week's story. Chaudhry shared some of that evidence with Insider for the story. So not only did she share not only did she say, hey, this is the information, she shared the information with Insider. So it's nothing new. The DA's office declined to comment, and the NYPD did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Jabari could not be reached by email or phone. For some reason, for all of this that they got going on, you know what I mean? They still, even though the evidence is there, they still didn't want to go ahead and investigate this and turn the tables and arrest Jabari, Grace Jabari. So, let's see. He said in his domestic incident report, Majors alleges that Jabari had attacked him on prior occasions, though none was reported, including a verbal dispute in London that became physical, as a report to police described. So she's had a hit. He's saying that she has a history um, of violence towards him. NYPD detectives also asked who has a 10-year-old daughter from a past marriage, a series of yes or no questions. In the prior history section of the domestic incident report, police checked the box yes box next to these questions. Is suspect capable of killing you or your children? Is the suspect violently or consistently jealous of you? And has physical violence increased in frequency or severity over the past 6 months? This is what he checked yes to. This is his word. This is him. And Laura Italiano, shout out to her. She's been doing, she did a lot of guys' work. And what I mean by that, she's actually getting to the bottom of this and not just making a one-sided peace story to, in this believe all women. No, believe the truth. Don't believe all men. Don't believe all women. Believe in the truth and wait till the truth comes out. And Laura Italiano played the footage of this young lady kicking it. You know what I'm saying? And it says Marvel star Jonathan Majors is due in the NYC court Tuesday on domestic violence charges. Grace Jabari says he broke her right middle finger in a midnight fight on a Chinatown corner. Watch her right hand 3 hours later as she climbs up a dance club stairwell. She's on the right. And again, CVS receipts. She's on the right. Now, doesn't look like anything wrong with that finger. This is insiders. Insider got the tea. This is insider. This ain't Dre Mack. This is insider. Majors has denied causing any of the injuries. He was arrested over and has insistently through his lawyer that he was not violent to Jabari, who allegedly became violent while accusing him of getting text from another woman. Obviously, we know now that he's dating Megan Good, so it could have been her. On the incident report, Major said that he did pull away from Jabari as she grabbed for his face, coat, and phone. At another point, he admits that when their fight spilled out into traffic, he hoisted her back into their chauffeur black Cadillac Escalade. I was worried she would be hurt by traffic, so I physically picked her up and put her in the car. The incident report reads. Major describes his own injuries in detail. In the morning, my face was stuck to a pillow because of blood from the cut from Jabari digging her thumbnail into my face. The incident report reads. Majors additionally accused Jabari of running up his credit cards without his authorization, returning to London with his iPhone, a Rolex vintage watch, and other luxury items that cost $6,000 to $7,000 according to the incident report. So not only was she scratching on him and all of that, she took his phone, took his money, ran up his card, which we have evidence of the bartender. He's going to testify because the bartender recognized Jabari in the club. That is on camera of her buying bottles and all of that for friends she just met that night. The actor is not due back in court until his August the 3rd trial date, which is the day of this recording. And then, this is the same things that is read before. So I'm not going to go there. Well, let's pull that off screen. But this is why you have to wait. You have to wait. That's why you have to wait. Because when the insider got this information, the insider posted everything that you needed to hear. They posted everything. And his lawyer is claiming that this is racism in this. But now, again, this is the last thing I'm going to show. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So this is the tea. This is more of the tea. because this is going to say, this is going to have the information that they requested. I'm going to get to that part here in just a second. This is what the lawyer said. We have proof. Okay, so let me start up here, up top first at this here. Let's start here. And then we're going to, oops, I'm not trying to do that. Y'all know what I'm trying to do. Let's start here. Let's go all the way down. Miss Jabari claims that Mr. Majors assaulted her in a car in Chinatown around 12 a.m. on March 25th, 2023. And during this incident, Mr. Majors broke her finger and lacerated her ear, Chaudhry wrote in a letter to Manhattan Criminal Court Judge Rachel S. Pauley that was written April the 18th and only released this week. We have proof that this is a complete lie, Chaudhry told the judge, detailing a trove of DFIS eyewitness interviews, phone records, credit card savings, and hours of surveillance footage, surveillance and police body cam camera. Remember, go all the way back to the beginning when I read the NPR's article. Did they mention any of this? No, they didn't mention any of this information whatsoever. It was very one-sided. That's why I said you guys got to watch who you are listening to, who are you reading to, get all of the evidence, all of it from both sides. It did make a conscious decision of what you want to believe or not. But let's go here to the T that was omitted, and this is why I got on Barbara earlier for that NPR article, because again, his trial is today. People was reading it yesterday like, man, sound like Jonathan Majors really guilty if they don't use their brain and research more information, or they half-heartedly doesn't even care because he's an actor, he's rich, whatever. But I care about the truth. So let's get to the truth. Chaudhry alleged in a letter that this evidence suggested that Jabari injured herself some 7 hours after the midnight fight, when Jabari took a fall while alone in Major's penthouse apartment after drinking and taking sleeping pills. Was that said in an NPR interview? No. The evidence Chaudhry shared with Insider, not with, it ain't he say, she say. She gave the information to Insider. So let's keep that in mind. The evidence Chaudhry shared with Insider did not show how Jabari was injured or the entirety of the fight between Jabari and Majors that is at the center of the misdemeanor charge. It did, however, appear to support the lawyer's contention that Jabari's ear and finger was uninjured in the hours after the fight, because only thing you have to prove is whatever injuries he says she had never happened. So she said, racist arrest. So she said, Chaudhry continued in a letter that Jabari had said, I don't know, 19 times when asked by arriving medics and cops how she was injured, citing police body-worn camera footage taken at the penthouse and turned over to the FIS by the prosecutors. The letter alleges that the NYPD footage showed the lead officer coaching Ms. Jabari to accuse Majors of assault. That was the strangulation, which was later dropped because you are on camera coercing this girl, coaching this woman to say that this man choked her when he really didn't. She said in a letter that the arrest was racist. It showed that the officers questioned among themselves how Majors, who they didn't recognize as a famous actor, could afford to live in a luxe penthouse. Chaudhry told insiders that all 6 of the responding officers was white. Now, again, don't know if it's racism, classism, or any type of ism, but you shouldn't judge a man by the way that he looks just because he's living in the penthouse. Just saying. They didn't even, it sounded like they didn't even ask. Even though Ms. Jabari admitted to drinking to the point of throwing up, taking sleeping pills, and having no idea how she woke up in a closet with a cut on her head, injured finger, the police jumped to the conclusion that Mr. Majors, the young, tall, strong, rich black man, must have done this to Jabari. Chaudhry's letter alleged, citing the NYPD footage. Now, the NYPD has been under fire, especially the way that young man who got choked on the subway started a protest in New York Police Department and they went through. The police department ended up pepper spraying these peaceful protesters, and all hell broke loose with that. So this is not the first time the NYPD has been accused of racial bias, alleged racial bias. Let's put it more like that. Prosecutors charged Major with 6 counts of assault and 3 counts of harassment. Jabari, a London-based movement coach who had worked alongside Majors on the set of this year's Ant-Man and the Wasp of the Quantumania. Okay, let's go to. He said he wanted this to go to trial yesterday, but let's go to who was prepared to testify. Okay. Before I get there, he says, here is a look at the defense's evidence as detailed in the April 8th letter and a series of interviews with Chaudhry, who shared key photographs and surveillance footage with video with Insider. So she shared this information with the Insider. The evidence starts with the driver, the first of at least 4 eyewitnesses to the fight at the center of the case. So let's get to that, and let's see what we have here, just in case you haven't been caught up. The driver is prepared to testify. Chaudhry told the Insider that the man who drove Majors and Jabari to and from the Brooklyn bar that night was not directly employed by Majors and worked instead for Black Lane, a upscale private black car company. So that's one. He said the driver of the car heard and saw everything. It's in it's in the letter. And then it says street surveillance reviewed by Insider, not by Dre Mack, not alleged by Dre Mack, not alleged by Chaudhry or anything. There was reviewed by Insider when they watched this. Appears to show substantive. I can't talk right now. At least some of the driver's accounts. It shows Majors repeatedly trying to flee from Jabari as she pulls at his coat, and he's a big guy, and she's pulling him so hard that she pulls his body into the car. The lawyer said, "You see the coat rip, and she does finally get out." Chaudhry told Insider. So this is stuff that they seen, not I saw. They saw. He said a small group of women who witnessed the fight recognized the star. Only in New York, right? One of the women jumps on him, hugs him, and asks for a selfie. Chaudhry said, he's so nice, they take a selfie. At one point in the footage reviewed by Insider, again, not by Dre Mack, not alleged by Jabari, what they saw, Jabari used both hands to briskly fiddle with her hair. She ties her hair into a knot. If your finger was broken and you want to tie your hair in a knot, it would hurt, the lawyer said. So she's proven that she's lying, or this thing is a complete lie. So let's get off of that. Let's go to the bartender. He's about to testify. Chaudhry told Insider that Majors and an uninjured Jabari parted ways after the fight to embark on 2 separate and very different evenings. Major spent the rest of the night at a Up East Side hotel. The lawyer said phone records show that he sent Jabari a breakup text before turning off his phone. Jabari, meanwhile, befriended 3 of the passerbyers who witnessed the fight. The lawyer said the 1 woman and 2 men headed to Lucy's, a nearby nightclub. Chaudhry said in the letter, prosecutors have the contact information for at least one of these witnesses, but have not yet shared it with the defense, Chaudhry told Insider. The lawyer alleged in the April 8th letter that the video from Lucy showed Jabari dancing and drinking with her new acquaintances and charging their drinks, including rounds of shots and a $800 bottle of champagne to Major's credit card. So remember, we were talking about all the things that she was charging up. She charged this card. You go and look at the records. Oh, you were at Lucy's because it's on your banking record. Matter of fact, I have a credit card through Chase. I have it through Chase and I have it through Capital One. As soon as I make a purchase, I automatically get a text message saying where the purchase comes from. You know what I mean? So that's easy. So all the lawyer did was go and get the video. An Insider reviewed timestamp videos from inside Lucy's nightclub obtained by Chaudhry. Throughout 2 hours of the footage from multiple camera angles, Jabari showed no signs of having an injury to her right hand. Remember, she said, in the testament that he injured her. He injured her finger, yada yada yada. This is proven to be a lie. Instead, she can be seen using her right hand to shuffle through her wallet for the credit card, handling her cell phone, holding the menu, click champagne glasses with her friends, write and hand a note to the DJ, give what appears to be a fist bump in the air on the dance floor, and finally sign a check. And we already seen that video. You know what I mean? At one point in the video, Jabari uses her right hand to push her hair behind her ear. We talked about that. It says, hold on. It says Sharjri told Insider that the bartender, he's about to testify. Remember Jabari's British accent and would testify that Jabari was having a great time and that he recalled no bleeding ear or bruised finger. Her finger is not broken. Her ear is not lacerated after the fight, with Major's defense lawyer added. And they got footage of her of that night in the bar kicking it. If you just caught an ass whooping, you're not kicking it at the club. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a buck. You're not kicking it at the club. So this video, which is obtained by Insider, 30-second video, shows her at the DJ's booth, kicking it, giving the guy a letter. Yeah, her right hand is the one she uses. So again, CVS receipts. You see, they click in on it. Just zoom in. That's her, and she's kicking it. No bleeding, no nothing. She's having the time of her life. She uses her hand right there. Evidence. It's all right there. The breakup text. So he broke up with her, and we've seen the if you've been following the channel, I have put up the text messages, which now has been proven that she was blowing up this man's phone with text messages. Jabari's phone went silent at 7:45 a.m. She had called Majors 32 times since they parted ways at midnight and had sent him a series of angry, jealous text messages accusing him of infidelity and begging him to call her, Sharjri alleged in a letter. Hours later, Majors, still at his Upper East Side hotel, began scrolling through Jabari's barrage of calls and texts. What he saw chilled him to the bone, Sharjri told Insiders, and he came rushing home. It's a suicide threat. And it is on the text message that Jonathan Majors' attorney put out, but it's cut. You know what I mean? It's cut. So surveillance footage from Major's lobby shows him returning to the penthouse at 11:13 a.m., nearly 12 hours after the fight on Chinatown. Jabari had texted a suicide threat to Majors when he did not respond to her text messages. Again, that's where the drinking and sleeping pills come in. Now let's get to the big receipt. Now Bookman, the handyman, is also prepared to testify. So you got the bartender. He's about to testify. You got Bookman, the handyman, the super, and you also got the driver, you know what I'm saying, in the that's there too. You got all of this, right? Majors let himself into his penthouse upstairs. A bedroom door was locked from the inside. He called the resident handyman to force open the door, the lawyer wrote in a letter. Inside, Majors and the handyman, Bookman the handyman, found Jabari half naked and passed out on the floor of the walk-in closet, Sharjri said in a letter. Sharjri wrote that the evidence would show that her right ear was bloody and that the knuckle on her right middle finger was swollen and bright purple with vomit on the bed and a bottle of sleeping pills nearby. So all the evidence is proven. It's showing up. All we got is hearsay. If you really think about it, only thing Jabari said was hearsay, or the testament from the NYPD is just hearsay. And there's a timeline of events that he has, that his lawyer is presented. I have a witness. I have a witness who was on the phone with Mr. Majors when he found her unconscious body, gasped, and called 911. Remember, I said at the beginning of this, when NPR wrote that article, they omitted so much stuff because it said that she called. No, he called the police. from the insiders, their information. He called the police. Sergeant told insider the handyman is also another witness, the lawyer said. Both witnesses verified that Miss Jabari was locked in a bedroom and that Mr. Major was not with Miss Jabari whatsoever before he found her and called 911 seconds later, the defense lawyer told insiders. Whatever caused her injuries likely fall in the closet after a night of heavy drinking and taking sleeping pills. Mr. Major was not there when the injuries happened. She told the judge the letter. I don't know 19 times, and this gets to where she said I don't know because she threw up in the man's bed after taking sleeping pills. And she was asking, "What happened to your finger?" I don't know. What happened here? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. 19 times. Sharjah said in a letter that Jabari also told the officer that she started a fight in the car because she saw a text from another girl, wanted to see his phone, tried to grab his phone. That was in the initial report by TMZ when he first got arrested too. You know what I'm saying? Now we suspect that this woman is making good, allegedly. We don't know. But then the cops kept asking if he hit her or punched her, Sharjah told insiders. At one point in the body cam footage, the cop would end up swearing out the original assault complaint, can be seen on video touching his own throat several times while questioning what Majors did, as if coaching her, Sharjah alleges in the letter, but the police video does not show any visible injuries to Jabari's neck, the lawyer said, which we have seen that too. TMZ had the body cam footage of that. So this goes in. He said, I suspect the medical records also show no injuries to the neck, which they end up dropping that charge. And then she goes into Major's attorney said his arrest could make black men afraid to call the 911. And unfortunately, a lot of black men are afraid. I'm gonna give you a lot of black men are afraid to call 911 for anything. But it also gives a larger talking point to men not wanting to call police if a woman is attacking her, because they could be able to reverse it and say, no, you're the man, you should have left. You're gonna let this woman attack you? You sure? And what evidence do you have that this woman attacked you? You know what I mean? Especially if she calls the police first. You can have scratches deep as Wolverine's claws in your neck. If she gets to the police first, you're going to jail, buddy. Sharjah also said the Major saved her life by calling 911, and they have falsely charged him with a crime, Sharjah told insiders. But again, if you go back to the NPR, they said that Sharjah, Stephanie McMahon Helmsley, is the one who called the police, and no, it's Jonathan Majors, because he found her half naked, throw up in his bed, all of that. The door was locked. The handyman had to break it over, and she was unconscious in his closet. And he called 911, still concerned for her well-being, and he was arrested. So I can understand what she said, but that would make black men afraid. Black men been afraid to call the police. This is nothing new. But this is the reason why that, I wanted to pull up, again, CVS receipts. That's it. Just CVS receipts. Nothing more, nothing less. Let me take this off the screen. Let me stop this. So again, Jonathan Major's trial is of the day of this recording, August the 3rd. So when more information comes out, I will make sure to give that information in a video and all of that. So don't worry. I will make sure that I cover this story and everything, continue to cover this story. But I wanted to give you everything, because if I just would have read the NPR and you're new to the channel or you're new to this information, you wouldn't have knew anything about Jonathan Majors, and all the evidence that his lawyer presented to the insider to be able to share. You know what I mean? So not with Rolling Stone, not with anything new, even Newsweek, had that article. You know what I mean? But we wanted to go in more context of what the evidence was. Or what the evidence that he has against his alleged victim. So what do you guys think? Make sure you put it in the comment section. Y'all, thank you for rocking with me. Again, if this is your first time watching this channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. Until next time, I'll holler at you guys later. Peace and vibe higher, y'all. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Where's my outro at, man? Let's get out of here. If you came to this part of the video, thank you so very much for sticking to the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you want to get a little bit more personal with me, make sure that you follow the social media links that's down below. Until next time, I'll holler at you guys later. Peace and vibe higher.